Welcome to Charting Cryptos and Commodities. Great to have you with us. We'll start off first on the 24-hour-a-day Bitcoin chart. What we have here is, of course, the weekly chart at the top, the 2-day and the half day at the bottom. Now, I'm not changing the half day over, but it is literally just rolling 195-minute candles. They do translate, of course, into the 2-day chart and the weekly, but let's just sort of focus first and foremost on the weekly and the fact that we have seen things, roll down, slide over, and then start to roll back up in a discernible pattern, which is good, and then slack off. We see the volume there go red when we get this red doji. And of course, that's simply a function of its red candle. It's going to be a red volume, but we can see where things topped out. And again, where they were selling their inventory and then things started to roll over. Discernible break in the trend line and things moving down. Now, that is good. We want to see that over and over again where Bitcoin starts setting up a pattern that we can follow. All we really care about, we don't care if stuff goes up, down, or sideways. We want it to be a pattern that we could track. Now, we do prefer it to go up and down. Sideways, not so fun. But again, if we can discern it and it starts to move in good patterns, things like this, when it hits a bottom and then it looks like it's trying to go up and doesn't, particularly when, you have some surges in volume here. But one thing this is telling you, when you look at the week starting Monday, the 12th of December, of course, you've got lots of try to move up and then push back down. So every time the bulls tried to push it up, the bears sold off. That's what was giving you that volume there. Then you had it move back over. Then you had indecision here with not so much volume, and then the volume spiked and things took off moving up. And as they got higher and the candles slowed down, you can see where, again, volume slowed down, indecision here, and then, of course, things rolling over. Now, we're only 2 days into a 5-day candle, so we don't expect the volume with this down move to be that high yet. So we'll see as things move along, but it's good to see Bitcoin starting to move. And again, not just sail up into nowhere, but pull back over. And again, right at where we can see it topping back in August. So again, maybe, we're again sort of setting a bottom, setting a couple of tops here. And then what we'll hope to do is see maybe the bottom tested again and then things shoot away. Maybe that'll happen. If that happens, great. What about Ethereum? Where is it? Well, same kind of thing. We can see where Ethereum peaked and then rolled down, tried to move up a little bit, rolled down, and now is back to not as high as it was back in August. Yeah, that's August when Bitcoin was hitting its highs. But again, moving up and then back down. So we'll see. Maybe it'll come back down and test the lows in here. Again, we want discernible patterns. We want to see a couple of bottoms, and then we want to see a breakout. So hopefully we'll start seeing that. Why? Because that's showing us the buying and selling is healthy, which is what we would like to see. We look at where the overall crypto market is. Remember, this is Bitwise 10 Crypto Index Fund. It is the top 10 cryptocurrencies weighted as per market share. And again, Bitcoin being the big kahuna, moved up with Bitcoin. And over the last couple of weeks, we see it moving down, breaking that weekly trend line. And of course, going red on the volume. So we'll see just how things, again, continue to move across the crypto space. Now we'll take a look at some of our commodities. I always like to sort of set the commodities up in what the big loser was for the day to start with. That, of course, was the United States Gas Fund. Let's take a look at the big chart where we can see how, particularly gas peaked we're talking about gas just being crazy. That was last June, and then hammered down for many, many months until early October, where it popped up and then dropped in November, and then started moving up about mid-December. And then, of course, as the year started to move down. So again, we will keep our eye on things. See, I guess it moved up through December and January, and then over the last couple of weeks dropped down. Again, maybe bouncing off this 30-day moving average. 30-day EMA. So we will see. But again, nice to see gas prices low. Silver. Silver, like gold, ended up popping up and then moving down strongly. So again, we saw where the volume really spiked up as after it had topped, people selling off, and then silver moving down, moving below that 30-day or 30 period. Sorry if I'm saying day. It's a 30 period. That would be 30 weeks on the weekly chart. Moving average heading down. So again, silver has topped. We'll see how long it will move down before it goes up again. Wheat, we can see where wheat, it hit some lows here. Lowest lows in quite a while. And then, of course, over the last 3 weeks, moving up some. Corn, again, slowly trickling up since the beginning of the year, trying to move up. Soybeans, now again, soybeans, most recent peak was back at the end of the year, and now moving back up toward that. The most recent peak, of course, we have here was, if we look back in June of last year. Gold, we talk about gold every day like silver. It has come off of its highs in a downtrend right now. Oil, just sort of meandering along, up this week, down the last 2 weeks. Copper, again, peaked most recently back in mid-January. But, to look back at some copper highs, we have to go all the way back to February of last year. So we're well off of that. Sugarcane, of course, sugarcane took off, coming off that 30 EMA on the weekly chart and moving up over the last few weeks, but really peaked back in at the end of January. Coffee, I was so excited when coffee hit this bottom a few weeks ago. The last 4 weeks been moving up. See if it'll push through that 30-day EMA. And of course, natural gas. Remember, we were told everybody was going to freeze to death this winter, particularly in Europe. Natural gas just keeps on hammering down. It was up for the day, 6.24%, but overall, well off the highs from back in August of last year. That is where we are, folks. Remember, you can use what we teach here to practice trade, of course, these different commodities. They don't always give you opportunities, but they can offer them. So again, I would encourage you, if you like this chart that we have, write to me, cw@chartingwealth.com. I'll send you the instructions on how to set up both the volume chart and all 3 of these time frames, along with the Heiken Ashi candlesticks and the 30 period exponential moving average. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team here at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.